Oh, this is what you usually think of when you hear about graffiti, right? I mean, you don't think of ancient Romans carving into walls. I'm Kay, and I'm here to tell you why graffiti should be considered a respected art form. Contrary to popular belief, graffiti's official birthplace was not in 1970s America. It was actually in ancient Rome, in places like Pompeii. The word graffiti was actually taken from the Italian word graffare, which means to scratch into or onto a surface. Most involved being very rude, talking about one's love life, or just very crudely drawn drawings. Graffiti has a very significant historical value, because many historians actually use ancient graffiti to better understand the civilizations of the time. The better known modern graffiti was officially started in 1970s America, and the first official graffiti artist is known as Cornbread. Cornbread started spray painting walls over his city in order to get a girl's attention. This kind of graffiti is obviously usually done with spray paint or markers or pens, but one thing that people really don't realize is especially modern graffiti has different kinds of subgenres. One of these subgenres being street art. The difference between street art and graffiti is best described by the writer Michael Denoto. He says, "The difference between graffiti and street art can be found within the authoritative intent, intended audience, and form. Graffiti operates within a closed community. Street art is an open invitation for anybody to interact, consider, and discuss. It is rebellious but not purposely destructive, as there is an intent to beautify the urban environment. Street art is used as a tool for change rather than a cry for attention and rebellion, as traditional graffiti is. Street art is very similar to political cartoons in that both have imagery and are meant to start a conversation. We usually think of graffiti artists as being uncultured and uneducated gangsters and thugs. However, that is rarely the case. One of the best examples of this is the stencil art done by British street artist Banksy. Many of his pieces tend to force the horrific, gruesome horrors of reality onto its viewers. Examples of this can be seen in pieces like Napalm, which was actually based off of a photo taken by Nick Ute during a napalm bombing in Vietnam, and his Madonna and Child piece, which is based off of many paintings done as far back as late medieval Italy. This painting was a convention of the time, redone by many different artists such as Cibaboi, Duccio, and Giotto, and even more. As you can see, he added his own modern twist on it. Interestingly enough, although very popular, Banksy actually hides his identity and is wanted in many places for his vandalism. Authorities tend to hate street art, not because it dirties their cities or because it's actually against the law, but because it questions government morals and the world in general. It's easier to control people who just don't question anything and just to do as they're told, and street art challenges this idea. Although street art can be very beautiful and very beneficial to the art and historian community, it's still considered vandalism. Places all over the world have been trying to come up with solutions for this growing crisis, such as wall paint that spray paint doesn't stick to, and very heightened cleaning crews. The fairest solution to this has been discovered in Rome, ironically graffiti's birthplace. The city created designated walls specifically for graffiti artists to work on. Let's look at the pros and cons of this. The benefits would be less vandalism, better quality art, and the maintenance of audience numbers. Con would be the absence of the raw excitement that comes with illegal activity, which is what draws so many to graffiti in the first place. Overall, the walls really do seem like the best option. Not only does street art have a significant political influence on the world, but it also has an impact on the self. Art therapy is typically done in a professional setting, but graffiti can be linked to have the same therapeutic effects. Art therapy is used usually because adolescents prefer to express themselves visually rather than verbally, meaning that they would rather depict their problems in images than talk about them. Graffiti is the same way in that it helps young people try to find their identity in the world. It also helps to lower violence because it's used as a relief to oppression and anger. In a way, it's like sticking it to the man and making your own individual mark on society and history. Asylum, a California graffiti artist, once said, "It's just a way of getting out there and saying, 'Forget you. Yeah, I'm oppressed.'" Doing graffiti relieves some of that oppression. It's not freedom of expression. There isn't such a thing. There's always someone out there that's in control. So I guess it would be nice if we did have freedom of expression. So graffiti allows us to do this. I'll go out there and be free. Many people still think very lowly of graffiti, bundling up all of its subgenres under the same definition. However, street art has much more value than it's given. It's a way to fight oppression, show expression, and make our places in history. Thanks for watching.